Hey everyone, and welcome. So, today we are going to tackle a big one, an absolute giant in the anime world that you've probably heard about. ReZero starting life in a different world from zero. If you've seen the hype, heard the buzz, but had no idea where to even begin with this massive series, don't worry, I gotcha.
But first, I want to start with a question for you. Just think about it for a second. What if you could rewind time every single time you died? Sounds like the ultimate video game cheat code, right? A free pass to get the perfect outcome no matter what. But what if the price for that power was feeling every ounce of pain, every bit of horror from your death, over and over and over again?
You know, the story kicks off in a way that might seem super familiar. We've got our main character, Natsuki Subaru, just a normal dude who walks out of a convenience store and bam, he's suddenly blinked into a bustling fantasy world. It's a classic setup, right? The kind of adventure we've all seen before.
But this is where ReZero takes that familiar playbook and just completely shreds it. See, unlike the usual hero in these otherworld stories who gets blessed with godlike strength or some OP magic, Subaru gets, well, nothing. He's not strong, he can't use magic, he doesn't have some legendary weapon fall into his lap. He is, for all intents and purposes, totally useless, except for one single horrifying ability.
So, let's dive into the absolute core of this series, the one single mechanic that defines every single terrifying moment of this story.
Subaru's one and only power is called Shini Modori, which translates to return by death, and it's exactly what it sounds like. Every time he's killed, time snaps back to an earlier specific point, kind of like a save point in a video game. But here's the kicker. He doesn't control it. It's not a skill he can just activate. It's something that violently happens to him.
And this creates this truly agonizing loop. He runs into some impossible, deadly situation. He tries to figure it out, makes a choice, and that choice gets him killed in some brutal, painful way. Then he wakes up, gasping for air, back at that save point, with every single memory of his failure and the raw trauma of his death seared into his mind. The only way he can move forward is through trial and, quite literally, fatal error.
Oh, and if you thought that sounded bad, it gets so much worse. This thing isn't a gift, it is a full-blown curse with some incredibly cruel rules. First, he's totally alone with this knowledge. Nobody else remembers the timelines where they all died. Second, he's forbidden from telling anyone. If he even tries, this dark force literally crushes his heart, or even worse, hurts the very people he's trying to protect. Each death also makes him reek of this dark witch's scent, which attracts monsters and makes people distrust him. And maybe the most twisted part? He doesn't get to choose his save points. Sometimes they're set after a horrible mistake has already been locked in, forcing him to live with some failures forever.
So yeah, all of this leads us to the show's real identity. As you've probably figured out by now, ReZero is the absolute 100% polar opposite of a power fantasy.
At its heart, this series is a deep psychological drama. It's about a kid who walks into this world thinking he's the main character, full of arrogance, only to have that confidence utterly shattered. He's forced to look his own weakness and powerlessness right in the eye and deal with the crushing mental toll of his trauma. And honestly, this is the part that gets you completely hooked. It's about being broken down to nothing, to zero, and still finding the will to get back up and try again, all for the people he's grown to love.
And that right there is the key. All of this suffering, all this pain, it's not for fame or power, it's all to protect the friends he makes, especially this incredibly kind, silver-haired half-elf named Amelia, who's the very first person to show him any kindness in this new world. He fights for them.
Okay, so now that you get the intense and, let's be real, terrifying premise, you're probably asking, all right, how do I actually watch this thing? Let's get right to it. Think of this as your own personal save point for starting the series right.
Honestly, the best and simplest way to experience the story is just to follow the release order. It's perfectly paced, and it makes sure all the big reveals and character moments land exactly when they're meant to.
The path is actually super straightforward. You're going to start with Season 1, which came out in 2016. Then, and this is important, before you jump into Season 2, you're going to watch 2 OVA movies, Memory Snow and The Frozen Bond. Trust me, do not skip these. They're amazing and add so much great character backstory. Once you've seen those, you're all set for Season 2, which will get you ready for the upcoming Season 3 and everything that comes after.
So, at the end of the day, ReZero isn't just a story you watch. It's a question. It's a question it's asking you, the viewer.
When every single choice seems to lead to more pain,
when you're forced to watch your friends die again and again, when you have to carry the crushing weight of 1,000 failed worlds all by yourself. Could you handle it? Could you really keep your mind from completely breaking apart? That right there is the heart of ReZero, and it is one heck of a journey to watch someone else try to find the answer.